I'd like to call the Thursday, May 25th, regular monthly meeting of the school board to order. First of all, I'd like to express my appreciation to all of you for coming out tonight. And we do apologize for the lateness, but we had several items that we needed to take care of. So I do apologize for the lateness of the meeting. At this time, I'd like for you to stand for a moment of silence, and that will be Amen. You may be seated. At this time, I would like our superintendent to introduce the students that will be giving the Pledge of Allegiance and the statement. Dr. Bracey.
Thank you, Chairman Parent, and good evening as well to everyone.
Good evening.
I thought we were the ones in the meeting, so you all should sound a little live at that. Good evening. Yeah, much better, much better. Thank you. This evening, for the pledge and statement, we will have students from Craddock Middle School. And starting with the pledge, as I call your name, please come down. Deasia Mullen and Sophia DeLeon. If the two of you will come, now, as you come, I will read a little bit of information, give you the bio. Deasia is an 8th grade honor roll student here at Craddock Middle School. She has maintained a 4.0 GPA during her stint at Craddock. She has scored in the past advanced range on each of her SOL tests and has been extremely successful. She is a Millennium Scholar. She is on a mission every day to make it one step closer to her goal of attending George Mason University, where she intends to pursue the necessary course of study required to become an engineer. She is a member of the Student Council Association. She was recently inducted into the National Junior Honor Society. She is a member of the school's Scholastic Bowl. The student body voted her most dependable. She is Craddock Middle's reigning homecoming queen. She mentors and tutors kindergartners at Victory Elementary School. In addition, she volunteers as a care package assembler with the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia. Diego and Sarita Mullen are her parents and have joined her tonight. She's a member of a blended family. Deasia is most appreciative that she has 16 siblings. So at this time, the parents, Diego and Sarita Mullen, and any other family members that are present with her tonight, please stand and be recognized. As I read the information for Sophia, I would also like to recognize the principal, Ms. Sonia Harrell, assistant principal, Ms. Dr. Patricia Grigsby, and assistant principal, Mr. William Taylor III. If you all will, Ms. Harrell, if you want to come forward. Sophia is an 8th grade student at Craddock, where she has maintained a 4.0 GPA since she's been enrolled here. She has continually scored in the past advanced range on her SOL test. It's like it's a repeat. This spring, she achieved a score of 600 on her SOL writing test. A Millennium Scholar, she is desirous of becoming, she has a passion for science with her desire to help people as she pursues a career in nursing. She's president of the Student Council Association, is an active member of the National Junior Honor Society, and is a member of the school's Scholastic Bowl. Her peers voted her most likely to become president and most likely to succeed at Craddock. Quite an honor. After reigning as Miss 7th grade, she now holds the title of Miss 8th grade. She mentors and tutors kindergartners at Victory Elementary School. She was recently featured in a Wavy TV 10 segment. For the past 2 years, Sophia has volunteered at the Hoffler Creek Nature Preserve, where she serves as junior nature steward. With assistance from the Craddock Civic League, she has maintained and become an integral part of the movement to organize a junior civic league. Edwin and Rosalie DeLeon, her parents, are present tonight. Riggs DeLeon, her brother, is also here. He's an honor roll student at Woodrow Wilson High School. So would her parents and family please stand at this time and be recognized? In reading the resumes of these two ladies here and looking at the work that they're doing with the volunteering at Victory Elementary School, I'm sure Victory will be fully accredited. And I need to look at trying to see if we can get you all jobs as teachers at the school as well. So at this time, I will turn it over to you all. Ms. Harrell.
Thank you, Chairman Parent. Thank you, Chairman Parent, Vice Chair Williams, school board members, and Dr. Bracy. Just so proud of these young ladies. As you can hear, that they are really excellent representations of our students here. And we're just so proud of them and everything that they have done to make Craddock Middle School just a wonderful school. You also have some tokens of appreciation from our 8th grade students who will be soon moving on to the high school. And just to say thank you and welcome to Craddock Middle School.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Chairman Parent, Vice Chair Williams, school board members, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, good evening and welcome to our school. My name is Sophia DeLeon. Tonight I represent the student body here at Craddock Middle School. During my 2 years at Craddock, I have had the privilege to be a part of a wonderful educational community, to immerse myself in many different opportunities, and to be a party to so many joyful experiences. I'm sure you can all remember the feelings that existed when you transitioned from one grade to another. On my first day of middle school, I felt so uneasy stepping into a school with so many students. When I was arrived and was greeted with a sea of welcoming faces from the Hampton Roads Committee of 200 men, I had a feeling that it was going to be a wonderful year, and I was not disappointed. I've made so many friends and have been blessed with so many kind and knowledgeable teachers. Every fear that I had about middle school was laid to rest. One of the major highlights of my time at Craddock Middle School includes my membership in a number of different school and community-based organizations. I never thought I would gain so much fulfillment by my giving back to the Craddock community as I volunteered my services. Being a member of the National Junior Honor Society and serving as president of the Student Council Association have helped me hone my leadership skills in ways that I never believed were possible. As SCA president, I had the opportunity to attend the state convention. This was an awesome experience that I will never forget. It was at that meeting that our school received state recognition by being awarded the Outstanding Middle School Community Service Citation for establishing a pen pal mentoring program with Victory Elementary School. As a member of the Scholastic Bowl team, I was able to sharpen my knowledge base in a fun and competitive way. Craddock has provided me with the chance to earn high school credits as I work my way through my middle school years with courses in Spanish, art, Algebra 1, and geometry. My middle school has been and still is making positive strides towards achieving full accreditation by offering programs such as the 21st Century Skills Tutorial. The special programs make it possible for students who require the extra academic assistance to receive it in a more relaxed setting after school Monday through Thursday. This year we have seen a change in the climate that exists at our school, and we owe that in part to the new administration and to PBIS. This change has made us feel like we are not only part of a community, but a village as well. Through positive behavior, students can earn Admiral Bucks, which they can use to purchase a host of reward items. Craddock also has an extensive athletics program which can claim award-winning success in the areas of track and field, basketball, and volleyball. Our marching band and cheerleading squad prepare our students for membership and their high school counterparts. Many of our students go on to achieve success in high school. I take pride in remembering the rewards of my hard work and dedication while attending middle school. Woodrow Wilson will be my next stop, and I plan to use what I have learned here at Craddock to blaze an amazing trail. Thank you for affording my school this opportunity to share with you the sentiments of how the Craddock Middle School student body feels about its school.
Two beautiful, intelligent young ladies, perfect examples of what the future of sports is all about. Can we give them a hand again? Where are the news cameras for these young ladies? I want to give you just a small token of our appreciation for being here with us on tonight. First, to the age of stand this far back, 16 siblings. I'm going to leave you close. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Good job. We're here. Thank you so much. God, have a great evening.
I'd also like to recognize we do have a number of staff members and some of their families here. So if all of our Craddock Middle School staff and families that are here, if you could please stand. We definitely appreciate their support and being here for our students this evening. Thank you.
And Mrs. Harrell, before you sit down, I want to, on behalf of the board, to thank Craddock Middle School for hosting tonight's meeting. The public gave us some input a couple of years ago to bring the school board meetings out into the community so that the community we can hear from the community rather than always having the meetings at the sixth floor. And we wanted to be as transparent and give the public as many opportunities to express their concerns to the board. So thank you for hosting this meeting tonight. We really appreciate it. Thank you all for coming out. All right, the next item is Reverend Patello. Would you read the school board's mission statement, please?
Yes, sir. The mission of the Portsmouth Public School Division is to engage all students in learning that will foster academic excellence and responsible citizenship.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, attendance, please.
Miss Allen?
Present.
Miss Atkinson?
Here.
Mrs. Hines?
Present.
Mr. Lamb?
Present.
Reverend Patillo?
Present.
Dr. Whitaker?
Here.
Mrs. Williams?
Present.
Mr. Parent?
Present.
8 members present. Reverend Fleming is absent due to illness.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is roll call vote, the approval of the agenda. You have reviewed the agenda. What is the pleasure of the board?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Miss Allen?
Yes.
Miss Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. This time, it's my pleasure to introduce our student representative, and she will give her report. And then after she gives her report, she's going to read a resolution, a very special resolution that she has written, and this board has approved, and we're very proud of Michaela and what she has done this year. When we started last year and we selected the student representative to the school board, she applied and she was chosen. So, and you have done an outstanding job, and we really appreciate all the work you've done this year. So now you can give her your report.
Good evening. Over the past few weeks, I have been showing the spotlight on many schools. Tonight, my light falls on Victory Elementary School and Craddock Middle School. Craddock has an active National Junior Honor Society and Student Council Association. These two organizations make care packages, sit in on civic league meetings, and help beautify Craddock. Their community and political involvement has given them the idea to attempt to start their own junior civic league. The middle schoolers set an example for the younger children who look up to them. This example is being followed by students at Victory Elementary School. Kindergartners who attend VES are given an 8th grade pen pal with whom they exchange letters. This activity improves the kindergartners' writing, reading, and vocabulary skills. The 8th grader also helps tutor their pen pal. But Victory is not only partnered with CRADOC, they're also involved in many other programs, some of which are transitional programs for military families. In addition to helping military families transition, they also have a mentor group to help girls transition into young ladies by teaching them how to dress, speak, and present themselves. It is evident that both of these schools are pushing their students to be the best they can be inside and outside the classroom. Though the light might not be as bright, it must be shown. A parent brought a concern regarding lockers at one of the middle schools. She said that students are not given a locker until the 8th grade. Therefore, 7th graders must carry around 4 textbooks, 4 notebooks, and any additional material needed for the class. The parent does not believe this is fair, seeing as 7th graders bring home just as much work as the 8th graders. Yes, workload may increase as you move up in grade, but there is just as much work to carry now as there will be then. As my senior year, as well as my term as Portsmouth Public Schools student representative, comes to an end, I would like to congratulate the class of 2017 for a job well done. All 3 high schools have come together, cried together, and learned together on this concluding journey. It has been an uphill battle, but it was worth it. Thank you to all the wonderful teachers, staff, coaches, and tutors who have helped myself and the rest of my class make it this far. We couldn't have gotten here without you. I would personally like to thank all of my teachers for pushing me to realize my potential and realize that I'm the best. But I saved the best for last. Thanks be to God, my family, and my family who is not my family, for supporting me and bringing me out of my senior year as an honors first college graduate with an advanced diploma and college credits. Please stand.
Very good.
Thank you. I beat many opposing odds. I will continue this journey at Old Dominion University in the fall, where I plan to stay involved with Portsmouth Public Schools, its activities, and get this anti-bullying campaign up and running. In order to get this campaign started, I am pleased to introduce Portsmouth Public Schools' first ever anti-bullying campaign resolution.
Okay.
Bullying is defined as unwanted, aggressive behavior among school-aged children that involves a real or perceived power imbalance. Examples of bullying may be making threats, physical or verbal attacks, and/or cyberbullying. The mission statement is that this anti-bullying resolution aims to keep the educational environment safe, challenging, and nurturing. Portsmouth Public Schools and its esteemed school board members are committed to ensuring that all students have equal opportunities in a setting that is free of bullying, discrimination, or discomfort. October is nationally recognized as Bullying Prevention Month. Therefore, the school board wishes to designate October as Portsmouth Public Schools Anti-Bullying Awareness Month. During this month, there should be an anti-bullying pledge that students, staff, and members of the community will sign, recite, and honor. In alignment with this pledge, there should be workshops on recognizing the signs of bullying, how to help someone who is being bullied, and how to express being a victim of bullying and how to report it. There will also be events in place to identify local acts of bullying and ways to prevent them. This campaign will help increase participation of all Portsmouth Public Schools. Whereas bullying has become prevalent within our community, but people may not know how to manage or report it. Whereas the victim of bullying needs a support system and a refuge where they can express their needs to defeat bullying. Whereas critical attention should be given to the victim. Victims should know that there are others helping them fight and they do not stand alone. Whereas the community needs to come together to take a stand against bullying, and the students and staff along with the community profess that Portsmouth Public Schools will not stand for bullying but against it. Resolve, Portsmouth Public Schools will streamline the reporting process. Schools will respond promptly to reports of bullying. Schools will provide an anonymous tip box, designate a staff member to receive reports, or establish another method to report incidents of bullying in each school. Resolve, PBIS, Positive Behavioral Interventions and Support, should be continued in all schools to help students learn how to deal with conflict. Resolve, there will be a support system in each school to help students who have been bullied, whether the support system is the PBIS program or a different one. Resolve, in order for For victims to know that they are heard, there should be anti-bullying posters throughout schools and communities geared towards the resolution. The posters will reassure the victims of available support for them. Resolve, to help stop the spread of bullying, Portsmouth Public Schools will establish an anti-bullying pledge that can be signed by students, staff, and people of the community. Along with this pledge, October will be recognized as Anti-Bullying Awareness Month to bring attention and resolution to this issue.
Thank you. What is the board's pleasure?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Other than thank you very much for writing it for us. At this time, Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson? Yes. Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. Very good. Reverend Patillo?
I just want to say to Michaela, congratulations. You've done what no one in Congress could do in the United States of America. You passed your first bill unanimously.
There you go. Right. Ma'am, oh, I'm sorry. Y'all going to have to help me with the way we are. All right, go ahead.
Right up. Michaela, I just wanted to say that it's been a privilege and an honor to watch you grow this year. When your first meeting, and this could have been just me, you were confident, but you were also kind of, what have I gotten myself into a little bit? And it's been fun. It's been an honor to watch you blossom into the young lady and what you have done. And trust me, when you look back and when you think about this resolution, or when you think about the things that you have done, you may never know the impact or what you have done to help someone else. But we tend to think sometimes that we have to do something big and amazing to make a difference in this world. But many times it's the small, simple steps and the small, simple things, such as this resolution, that you will never know the impact that it could make. So I just want to say thank you, good luck, and I'm sure whatever you decide to go into, an ODU or beyond, you will do amazing things. Thank you again.
All right, the next item on the agenda is under student discipline. This is consideration of expulsion case number 2016-17/46. The recommendation is new direction for the remainder of the school year and at the end of the first semester.
Move for approval. Second.
Motion's made and second. Any discussion?
I think we need to add to that resolution that there will be administrative placement following the end of the first semester at New Direction.
Okay. Administrative placement following the end of first semester. Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
No.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
No.
Reverend Patillo?
No.
Dr. Whitaker? No. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
4 yes votes, 4 no votes.
Oh, no. It's 4 and 4. Does the chair have to break the tie? Mr. Meekins? It's 4 and 4.
The motion to fail. Motion has to be passed by majority vote. Any member, if you will allow it as the chairman, may allow an alternative motion to be brought forward, or the matter will just be left unresolved if they don't believe it's good.
I'll make a different motion.
Okay.
I move that the case be deemed a long-term suspension with administrative placement at the beginning of the 2017-2018 school year.
And I'll make a different motion that
Wait a minute. We've got a motion on the floor
And
and
we
a
have to
second.
discuss it.
Are you making an amendment? Are you amending her motion?
Yes, I'm amending her motion that the student just be moved to another school.
I don't think you can. There's a motion.
Technically, that is not an amendment. That would be a substitute motion.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so if you allow that to sit as a substitute motion, it could be taken, if it's on a second, a vote can be taken on the substitute.
So there's a motion.
Is there a second?
Has there been a second? There was a second? Oh, there was a second. So we have to vote on the substitute motion first.
So Sarah's motion first.
No. The substitute motion would be the motion that we voted on first.
Right.
Which is the motion to return the child to a different school,
That's correct.
if I remember correctly.
Okay.
Sarah's motion. That's the one that's on the floor.
I think Costello did, so
Chairman.
it would have to be the
Yes.
first.
Chairman Parent, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Attorney Meekins, the motion that has been made was Ms. Duncan Hines' motion of,
Is the original motion.
well, yes, and then it was
It was second by Ms.
Ms. Atkinson's that tried to make an amendment to that motion, but it was a clarification that that's a second motion.
Sir, it is a substitute motion, so what you will really be voting on is whether you will allow the substituted motion to go forward
All right.
or not.
Okay. Does the board
Then you'd
understand?
have to vote on the motion that's before you. So
Okay.
You can have two
All right.
votes.
Well, I would draw my amendment or substituted motion for the board to first vote on Board Member Duncan Hines' motion, and if that failed, then I will present my motion.
Okay.
Very good, Mr. Chairman, that is totally appropriate under the law.
Okay.
Could you
So
repeat
now
that?
the motion that you have on the floor
Is Ms. Hines'
a
motion.
made by
What was
Member
the-
Duncan
could you
Hines.
restate the?
Would you restate
So-
your motion?
I'm going to make the motion that we do long-term suspension to the end of the 2016-2017 school year, and then administrative placement beginning in September of 2017 for the 2017-2018 school year.
Okay. You've heard the motion?
I had already said
It's already been
It's already
seconded.
been seconded.
All right, okay. Madam Clerk,
Ms.
roll call
Allen.
vote, please.
Ms.
Yes.
Allen.
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson.
No.
Mrs. Hines.
Yes.
Mr. Lamb.
No.
Reverend Patillo.
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker. Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Parent.
Yes. Thank you.
6 yes votes, 2 no, it passes.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, you should declare that the amended motion passes.
Oh, I declared, right, okay. I'll declare the amended motion passes, thank you. All right, the next item on the agenda is consideration of expulsion discipline case 2016-17/47. The recommendation is alternative placement for the remainder of the school year.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, please roll call vote.
Ms. Allen.
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson.
Yes.
Mrs. Hines.
Yes.
Mr. Lamb.
No.
Reverend Patillo.
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker. Mrs. Williams.
Yes.
Mr. Parent.
Yes.
7 yes votes, 1 no, it passes.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is the monthly report of the curriculum and instruction. Dr. Anita Taylor. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman Parent, Vice Chairman Williams, and members of the board, and Dr. Bracy. I am delighted, as always, to present to you the May 2017 Curriculum and Instruction Report. I will draw your attention to the written report that has been posted in board docs.
Right.
And in addition to that, I would say to you that we are vigorously in the throes of SOL testing. It is too early to make the call, but we are very optimistic. And I would ask that you continue to encourage our staff and especially our students as they are continuing to take their tests through this week, next week, and the following. Tonight we have our CTE First College and Dual Enrollment Annual Report, and that will be presented by Mr. Craig Hill, and he will introduce our students who are here tonight to tell you about their experiences.
Thank you, Dr. Taylor. Good evening, Chairman Parent, members of the Portsmouth School Board, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
I brought with me tonight Ms. Harold, who's the CT Associate, and also 4 of our First College Scholars that I will introduce and let them introduce themselves in a few moments. First College program provides students an opportunity to have an authentic college experience while still in high school. The program is open to any eligible Portsmouth student who desires to go to college, including those who feel that it is impossible because no one in their home or family has ever been to college and funds are not available. The program this year, 2017, we had 197 First College students, over 400 dual enrollment students, and we've expanded a lot of career pathways that I'm going to talk to you tonight about. The experience not only ends with what you see here, where students are getting their ID badges, their orientation, they're having a pizza party there for their finals, and things like that. This process begins way back in their freshman year, even in the middle school, when they make choices. Students at freshman orientation will hear from me, and they'll hear words like early college or first college, CTE certificates, CTE dual enrollment programs. Those are choices they get to make. These students chose to go become First College Scholars. Here we look at a little bit of some of the courses taken, and that slide is a lot further than I realized. I'm going to pull out my glasses. Trying to get them out here anyway. As you can see, over the past few years, the same classes have been basically the stronghold: biology, psychology, public speaking, and sociology. These classes fill up the quickest. These are the courses that transfer out to four-year colleges, and students seem to really enjoy taking these classes. Our demographics, as you show, is pretty consistent. We had 197 total students, or total scholars this year in the program. And I want to look at that number, if I could, for a moment. After you look, the dual enrollment number is very telling here. If you look at the English 111 and English 112 in all of these classes, you notice there's a difference there from the 197. So if you look at English 112, at Churchland High School, we had 137 students that got through English 112. At Norcom, we had 36. And then over at Wilson, we had 67. So that would have been 240 students that could have possibly been in this program that were on basically the runway ready to take off. Somewhere we lost them. Some of them, maybe they didn't pass English 112. But a lot of the students, and I'm going to let these students tonight talk to you about it, chose other reasons why they didn't come over to the program. So there's a difference there of 43 students that we could have had in the program. So there's opportunities out there, is what I'm trying to show you. This program can grow. It's growing already, and we just need to tap into all those students. If you look at our achievements, here basically we're still at the same level. The national level is usually about a 60% transferable. This year we had 78% of the courses that transfers out to a four-year college. That is extraordinarily, to be honest with you. Those numbers have been consistent over the last 3 years that we've been collecting the data. The next title here basically is the academic standings for our First College Scholars. If you notice, I added an extra bracket there this year, the GPA of 4.0. Those are students that got all A's, not only in First College, but back when they were doing the dual enrollment English 111, 112, and even any CTE dual enrollment classes they had. So that's extraordinary. And then if you look also, if you add that number up with the GPA was 3.5 to 3.99, it's basically along the line, it's about 50 total students. Last year we had 55. We didn't change too much. Our number went down a little bit on lower than a 2.0, went up to 30 this year, but it was still over 85% of our students are at academic good standing. These are some colleges they're going to. A lot of our students are continuing over at TCC. They're also going all over the state and the country, and as they continue to grow. And the beauty of this program, if you think about it, a lot of people say, okay, it's an inexpensive way to go to college, which it is. We give them free books, which is true. We provide transportation. But the experience they gain from this is priceless. We had students that maybe on that GPA were lower than 2.0, but they come back and tell me, I've learned so much. I'm going to do so much better when I go to a four-year college because I realize all of the things I've learned. So that experience is priceless. This isn't necessarily a transition to college. This is taking the training wheels off these students and getting them into a college. What people like to say is, transitioning, they're in college. So I don't know about that transition word so much. They are in college and we have those same expectations and they are meeting those expectations. Some of the questions that we asked this year, what benefits did you gain from participating in the First College programs and lessons learned? Procrastination comes up over and over. Do not procrastinate. And some of these students here tonight will share those things with you. What advice do you give your friends to consider the program? Basically, do it. Don't slack. One of the things on there, if you noticed, was take it serious. Don't slack off. It is way different than high school. They realize that as soon as they come over because they have that freedom and they realize that they have to take advantage of it. Question 3, in what ways could the First College program be improved? One of them said some of the professors need not teach at First College. We had some that said lunch needs to be cheaper, if we could provide a lunch for them over there. So there's the things that, are concerned with students. Cookout gets a little old after a while, but they continue on. And then basically nothing that we could change is some of the things they said. So wide variety of comments. Want to hear how would you help by having the First College dean and other staff at campus? I'd like to take a long time if I could on this slide so you can read every one of those comments. So I'll just give you a moment there. Question 5, what was one of the decisions you made this session that you encourage other students not to make? Procrastination came up. Make sure you're studying. Make sure you don't take that free time. One of them was don't hang out at the student center. All of those things that you realize that they understand once they get on board. So, we've been talking about First College, and First College is something that we've been doing now, as I said up there, for our 12th year. This is the basic model of First College. Summer orientation, there's several of our orientations throughout the school year in their junior year and senior year, and then they come over with the English 111, 112 in their home schools, and then they come over in the spring semester. Well, we're going to expand that a little bit. We realize if we expand it just a tad, they can get a certificate out of the program. So that's something that we're looking forward to doing now. Then, let's reach it out a little bit more. The superintendent has realized that, hey, these students can get associate's degree as they're in high school. So if we add those associate's degrees to these students, they can come out with the different associate's degrees starting in the 9th grade and finish out. What opportunities you can have here? And these students are just continuing to expand these options. If you move on, there's about 4 different types of degrees that they can now get in associate's degrees. So students have asked for this, and we are providing it. CTE career pathways. We offer currently our welding classes. Now we're going to be offering a certificate in welding. This next fall, we'll have our first students graduating with a certificate in welding. We're going to take, during the summer, a MAR 120 class, and then they continue on with their welding classes. So that is another opportunity that we're providing. They can also get an associate's in welding if they decide to do. And if you notice back on the dual enrollment numbers, we've been consistently high with our welding classes. And as I said earlier, we have some students with, I tried to rush through that because I really wanted these 4 young people to talk to you. I think these are what you're here for. This is where you want to get your information. So I kind of went through it quickly. And we're going to start off tonight with Alexis. She's, well, I'm just going to let her tell you what she is.
Short. All right. Good evening, Chairman Perrin, Dr. Bracy, members of the school board, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. My name is Alexis Jefferson, and I'm a June 2017 graduate from Churchland High School. I participated in the First College program, and the classes I took were biology, sociology, public speaking, history 111, and student development. I finished out my semester at First College with all A's, and now that I'm done with First College, almost done with high school, I plan on moving to Virginia Tech, where I received a 4-year full-ride scholarship. Wow. Thank you. And I plan on studying animal and poultry science for my bachelor's, and from there I plan on getting my doctorates for veterinary medicine, so I'll be working with the cows and stuff there. And First College really helped me. That's the bottom line. They always say, and I know you guys were only in high school 5 years ago? Yes, so I know you guys all heard your teachers saying, oh, we're preparing you for college, we're preparing you for the real world. And I disagree. I feel that First College really was that stepping stone where we do have people we can talk to, like Mr. Hill, Ms. Harrell, where we are able to voice our concerns and be taken seriously, as in high school, not all of your concerns are heard and taken care of. And First College, it really opened my eyes on how unprepared I was for college. University will probably be a lot harder as I move towards my doctorate. And First College really prepared me. I was able to learn that procrastination is my downfall. As a lot of us realize, we procrastinate too much. We don't have any time management skills, which high school also didn't really prepare us for. And we realize that we are a lot more free than high school. And because we have more freedom as teenagers, we're still not completely there mentally. We still need to learn how to ground ourselves, how to really put our mind to what matters and not going to cookout and skipping classes with friends. So I would really like to thank the school board, Dr. Bracy, Mr. Hill, Ms. Harrell, just for giving me this opportunity to really realize that we can go far. As high school students, we are often looked down upon, we're not really taken into consideration as adults. But using this stepping stone in First College, we really do realize that we are adults. We are making very important life decisions at this time in our life, and that we will one day look back on this and we will be thankful for everything you guys have done for us.
Yes.
So thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, Parent, members of the Portsmouth School Board, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kevin Davis, and I'm a June 2017 graduate from IT Northam High School. I participated in the First College program and took the following courses of biology, psychology, sociology, public speaking, and SDB. My plans after graduation are to go to East Carolina University, which I got a 4-year scholarship for basketball. And my goal is to become an oncologist.
All right. That's good.
I'd just like to thank the First College program and the school board and Dr. Bracy for allowing me this opportunity. It was a great learning experience for me. Starting off, I didn't do as well. I was in between being a student athlete, and it's always been a struggle for me, but at TCC I learned a lot. And I think it really prepared me for the next step, the next school I'll be attending. Just thank you.
Well, thank you.
Good evening, Chairman, Parent, members of the school board, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shakira Ray, and I'm a June 2017 graduate from IT Northam High School. That's school in the land. I participated in the First College program, and I took psychology, sociology, public speaking, history 122, and SDB. And my plans after graduation are to attend Virginia State University, majoring in criminology. First College was literally the best decision I could have ever made. You have a lot of pressure being in high school, and I think a reason why a lot of my peers didn't decide to continue and go to First College is because you have high school and then you have college, which is a big difference. And then you have the classes that are weighted on your high school GPA. I left Northam with a 4.0. I finished First College with all A's and then a grade that wasn't so much A. So I'm graduating with a 3.8, which is still not bad, but
Very good.
it can
Very good.
But Ms. Hill, Mr. Hill, and Ms. Harrell, they're great in the First College office. Any questions you have, they can answer it. And our professors are great. The experience was just amazing. It really prepared me. Like, I feel like now I'm ready to go to college. I'm ready. I can take on any course that they give me. And even the classes that you don't do so well in, you can take them again and replace your grade, and you have an open mind to what the class can consist of. It's just a great experience, and I feel like every senior that has the opportunity to go, they should go. They should definitely take the opportunity, and it prepares you for life itself. And I want to express all my thankfulness and joy. Thank you so much to the school board and Dr. Bracy for this valuable experience. Thank you.
Hello. Y'all probably can't see me too well, but first I would like to thank you and good evening, Chairman, Parent, members of the school board, Dr. Bracy, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Hello.
My name is Jada Caffey, and I'm a June 2017 graduate from Woodrow Wilson High School. I participated in the first college program and took the following courses: sociology, psychology, public speaking, Western civilization, and SCV. My plans after graduation are to go to Old Dominion University, and I want to be a psychiatrist, something that helps people. And I agree with like all of them when they was like, school do not prepare you for college or none of that, because when I tell you, when I got there, I was shook. Like, I was like, I literally sat there for like 20 minutes with my hand up just because I had to use the bathroom. And they were looking at me like I was dumb. Like, you don't have to ask to go to the bathroom. I was like, okay, cool.
That's cute.
It was like the first week I was kind of like shaking up just a little bit. I'm like, okay. And I went in kind of feeling like I wasn't going to do too well because I procrastinate, number one. I'm lazy. I don't like all the extra work. So I'm like, I don't know. But I went in there, I did pretty good, and I was passing. I was like, girl, yes. So I'm proud of myself, and I just want to thank you guys for helping me get there, because I couldn't do it on my own. And, but just thank you so much, and thank you to these two right here, best people in the world, okay? I asked her questions every day. She answered them every day. She was like happy to see me. I was happy to see her. We was BFFs. She's still my friend. I love her. So thank you to the school board and Dr. Bracy for allowing me to have this valuable experience and helping me get ahead for what's next to come.
Y'all know how much I like to talk. You see now why I sped up my program, because they were just really great. And it also pays to take them to Applebee's before you bring them here.
Absolutely.
If the board has any questions for myself or any of the students that I brought, please.
No, just congratulations to all of you. Best wishes. Well done. Thank you, Mr. Hill. What do you
Mr. Hill, did you want to recognize Ms. Barnes here from?
Yes, please. Ms. Barnes is with TCC. Where's Katina Barnes? Oh,
Yeah.
she's right behind me.
Yes.
Ms. Barnes is with TCC. They put her in the coordinator position over there recently, and she has been helping with, we're doing all kinds of programs over there to help our students and get them through the program. So we thank her.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Barnes, for being here. And also, she's been very instrumental in getting our middle school, meeting with our middle school students and counselors to get those students involved in taking those classes that Mr. Hill mentioned, where they'll be eligible to receive an associate's degree at the end of their high school career. So they start taking those courses early. So thank you for working with us to add that piece to our first college program, Ms. Barnes. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Moving along, the next item on the agenda is the 2017 class valedictorian and salutatorians. Dr. Bracy.
Thank you, Chairman Parent. And always gives us a great pleasure to recognize our valedictorians and salutatorians from our high schools. And at this time, we will call Churchland High School valedictorian Lillian Gabrielle Burnham and the salutatorian Haley Irene Lawrence. If you two will come down and meet Chairman Parent and I at the podium. If the administration from Churchland High School is present tonight, will you all come forward at this time? At this time, Chairman Parent will read the plaques that the valedictorian and the salutatorians will receive from the school division.
The superintendent Scholastic Achievement Award presented to Lily Ann Gabrielle Burnham in special recognition of her outstanding scholastic performance while matriculating at Churchland High School, culminating in her becoming valedictorian of the Truckers 2017 senior class, and in appreciation of her solid investment of extra time and determination in the learning process, selecting academic excellence as her goal and refusing to accept mediocrity. This plaque has all of the members of the school board, and it is my pleasure to present this to you. Congratulations. I'm not going to spend the time reading the same thing, but Haley, congratulations to you, the salutatorian. Just think, in about 2 or 3 weeks, you'll be marching. Yeah. Yes.
Now the representatives from I.C. Norcom High School, valedictorian Markel Blow, salutatorian Langston Forbes Jackson. And I see Dr. Foster, if you will come forward at this time.
Marco, Mercedes Blow. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it says the same thing for each one of you. So, got to get the right one. This is Langston Forbes Jackson, salutatorian.
Next, representing Woodrow Wilson High School, valedictorian Emma Sharrett, and salutatorian Nathan Griffith. Dr. Johnson and administration, will you all come forward at this time as well?
Emma, on behalf of the school board, I'd like to present this plaque. Congratulations. Nathan. All right, the next item on the agenda is the 2017 State Indoor Track Champions. Dr. Bracy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman Parent. As you all remember, at the last meeting, we were scheduled to present the awards for our athletes that were state champions at the previous indoor track meet. But that night, they had another meet scheduled at that time, so we had to postpone it until tonight. So tonight, I understand, Coach Pugh, that Norcom are they participating right now? Participating right now. So we won't be able to recognize, but I will call their names. Chanel Hodges, who's a junior, she was on the Group 3A. She was the Group 3A girls 500-meter dash champion. You can applaud. Sanaya Ricks, who's a sophomore. She and Shamara Mays, Faith McMillan, and Jalen Lane, they were all members of the girls Group 3A 4x2 meter relay champions. So they were state champions in that relay team. So we want to congratulate them.
I would also like to add the girls from Norcom are currently competing in the 3A East Region meet at Lakeland High School. And so far, Faith McMillan has won the high jump. And they also won the 4x1. Shamari and Jalen and Siani is on that one. And then Asha Copeland has already won the 100-meter dash.
Okay. Very good.
As you all remember, I think we recognized them earlier for the state championship as a team earlier. Thank you, Dr. Foster. The next athlete from Woodrow Wilson High School, Amari Jackson, who's a junior. She was the girls' Group 4A long jump champion.
Wow.
Oh, gosh.
Mari. Her certificate of acknowledgement reads, in recognition of her stellar accomplishments as an outstanding track and field athlete in regional and state competitive events during the 2016-17 academic season while enrolled as a junior at Woodrow Wilson High School. And it's signed by Mr. Claude Parent, board chair, and myself as superintendent. And I would like to congratulate you on your accomplishments. She's also a member of one of my student advisory panels, and she's a very willing participant. As you can tell, she's not shy.
I would just like to say thank you, as I've had a very hard journey, because for my freshman year, I didn't think I would be able to as much competition as I had, but as I progressed throughout the years, I've been able to make progress and not only be one-time state champion, but now two-time state champion. And now I'm going to further on with states. This year, I'm going to try to be a three-time state champion in not only one event, but three. And then I'll also be competing at nationals, as in indoor. I was All-American at nationals.
Wow.
Hi, I'm Coach Allen.
Coach
Last
Allen.
year at the board meeting, I told y'all that she would be back this year, and here she is. All right. I wish my lottery tickets was as good as I was predicting that, but you know. Amari is a stellar student athlete, and when I say student athlete, I mean she takes that student part very serious. She has a 3.7 GPA. She's constantly at some volunteer service hours. She's been with Dr. Bracy, away from my practice, Dr. Bracy, but yeah. But she's been with Dr. Bracy. She's been practically every time somebody needs her to do something. She's as Dr. Bracy said, a willing participant to do it. She's a hard worker. She's a perfectionist. She feels if I don't say anything to critique her at all, that I wasn't paying attention. So I have to say something. Doesn't matter what, it just has to be something to be said to her. But, and recently, she scored 48 points at the Conference 17 Championship last Friday to help Woodrow Wilson win their first ever girls outdoor track and field Conference 17 Championship. She's done it all, and hopefully by the end of the summer, she'll know what college she wants to go to. On a full scholarship, of course. So, congratulations, Amari, and good luck as we continue on.
We're very proud of our students. Done a lot of great things academically and athletically, so we're very proud of them. All right, at this time, we'll have the school attendance report. Dr. Bracy, I think it's probably Mr. Wiggins.
We're pleased to report the monthly student attendance report, and it is for April. I realize this is May, but we're always 1 month behind. We first look at our preschools, and we compare the current year with the previous year. For 2016, it was 92.66%, and for the current year, 91.71%. And there was a slight decline of almost 1 percentage point. It's 95/100ths of a percentage point. Taking first place honors is Mount Hermon Preschool with 93.42%, and coming in second place is Churchton Preschool with 92.54%. And the difference separating the two is 88/100ths of a percentage point. We move next to our elementary schools. For the previous year, it was 95.58%, and for the current year, 94.20%. And again, there's a slight decline of 1 38/100ths of a percentage point. Taking first place honors once again is Churchton Primary and Intermediate School with 96.60%. And coming in second place is Hodges Manor with 95.65%. And the difference separating the first and second place winners is 95/100ths of a percentage point. We move next to our middle schools. For the previous year, in 2016, it was 93.63%. For the current year, 92.85%. And there was a slight decline of 78/100ths of a percentage point. Earning first place honors is Churchland Middle with 93.55%. And coming in second place is the school where we are currently at, Craddock Middle, with 93.01%. And the difference separating the two schools is 54 hundredths of a percentage point. We move next to our high schools. For the previous year, it was 92.32%, and for the current year, 91.02%, and there was a slight decline of 1 31 hundredths percentage point. Once again, Churchland High School has taken first place honors with 95.51%, and Woodrow Wilson came in second place with 90.77%. And here is where the greatest difference between the first and second place winner is, and it's 4 74 hundredths percentage points. When we look at the school division overall, in each of our divisions, we experienced a slight decline, and the school division as well. For 2016, it was 94.39%, and for the current year, 93.18%, and the difference is 1 21 hundredths percentage point. We move next to the summary, and you can see where all 4 divisions and the school division experienced a slight decline. And we would be remiss if we were not to thank everyone involved in the all-important task of getting boys and girls to school. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is consideration of the minutes for April the 6th, 2017, and April the 27th, 2017. What is the board's pleasure?
Move for approval.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment, these will be on non-agenda items. Madam Clerk, would you read the rules, and then do we have speakers?
Yes.
Thank you.
The Portsmouth City School Board is always interested in hearing from the citizens of its community. If you have registered to speak prior to this meeting, the clerk will call your name when it is your turn to address the school board. If you have not registered prior to the meeting, you may be given an opportunity to speak by the chairman after the first group has been called by the clerk. When speaking, please keep your comments focused on issues that are of general interest to the school division and the community. This public comments period is for non-agenda items only. Due to the length of our meetings, the school board requires that you keep your comments to 5 minutes. In addition, a few minutes may be granted by the chairman. Mr. Jordan Mutlow.
Good evening. Thank you, Dr. Bracy. Thank you, Mr. Parent, and thank you all honorable staff members on the board. I just want to say thank you for all the hard work you have been putting in to make this school system as well-oiled as you could possibly make it, and I hope that you could continue to do that in the ongoing future. As for me, I'm here because of you. I'm here because of you, because because of the hard work you've done, you've allowed me to be in the spot where I can say that everyone has the chance, everyone has the opportunities to succeed, everyone has the opportunities to go where they want to go. Elementary, middle, and high schools, all the work you've put in to give them opportunities in like summer camps and all of that. High schoolers for the first college program, and advocating higher education over getting like a fast food job straight out of high school or things like that, and getting them more focused into education and subject matters that are more important in our glowing economics, more like science, technology, engineering, mathematics, arts, things like that. And y'all have been really nice with promoting those kinds of subjects. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ty Mutlow.
Mr. Mudlow?
But I just wanted to say to Jordan, it's been a pleasure watching you grow the last couple of years. And not only are you a great academic student, but you also volunteer to community service. You're active with robotics competitions, things of that sort. I just ask you stay focused. When you go to college, you can't go on campus in a nice suit like that and not think you're not going to stay focused. So, stay focused, and I hope to hear back from you of the great things you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Madam Clerk.
Mr. Ty Mutlow.
Good evening, Mr. Parent, Ms. Williams, honorable members, Dr. Bracy. I'd love to say I could sit here and take all the credit for that young man, but I can't. His mother, I've been married to for 29 years, is with him, has been pretty much the rock behind his growing up. Now, a couple of issues that I have, I really have some concerns. I'm hearing from teachers that we're having a problem with honor students being put in classes that do not belong in honor classes. We really need to take a look at that, because if that's the case, then we're setting them up for failure, and that's not a good way to go about it. Secondly, First College, great program. I talked to Mr. Hill today. Issue I have is they're not on the same page. Mr. Hill is still having problems with First College being able to maintain appropriate grading, communicating with students, and that is a problem with me. You expect these students to, as a high school, to access portals and get all their information. Well, they tell these same students to access Blackboard and syllabuses and get all the information off of there. The same way that they're doing that is the same reason these teachers aren't posting grades or modifying their syllabuses without written modifications, just verbal. I've talked to him about it, but that's a problem to me. And he has told me today that he's had constant problems with instructors over there not getting grades, not doing the grading on a timely manner, getting midterm grades. That's a TCC issue that we as a school board need to take up, because they need us to fill seats. Their attendance is down. Suspensions. As mad as, I'm kind of frustrated to keep hearing the same subject about suspensions and expulsions. If your child cannot abide by the simple rules of high school, then he needs to find another place to get an education. You cannot, as a board or a school system, allow the few to dictate to the many that want an education. It's just not fair. Ultimately, every parent needs to take a look in the mirror before they send their child out. And so is these groups. Instead of complaining about it, look in the mirror, find out what you can do better about it. You are not my babysitter. And these parents need to get a grip. If you cannot pass high school at this stage of society, you either are not putting forth the effort or you're failing your student as a parent. It's not difficult to pass high school. We are teaching memorization to pass SOLs. Not difficult. I'm kind of fed up with the complaining. Step forward and take pride and do something about it. Jordan didn't wake up or was born with the ability to do what he does. It's work. Get your child on that path. Get on the same path as your child. Stay behind them. Make sure that they do not come off that path. I had problems with him this year. I didn't know if he was going to make it through the first half of senior year. But we were butting heads. When I came to the point where I couldn't realize it, I couldn't get it done, I went to his guidance counselor and asked for help. I went to Mr. Johnson and asked for help because it was coming to that point. I was going to have a 4.0 student not pass high school. That's how bad it got. So parents, if your pride is getting in the way, stop. If you're having issues, open up your mouth and please talk to the administrators or somebody. They will help you. Our education system is failing, not just in Portsmouth, all through the country. We have coddled these kids to the point where we're pretty much giving out diplomas. I watched a kid that graduated high school that can't read a board at Taco Bell. Why is that? Why is it we have people that work at McDonald's that can't run the cash register that are pictures?
Excuse me, Mr. Mutlow, you have 2 seconds.
Okay.
But if the board will grant you additional minute, that's...
I'm done. My son is graduating, but I will still be involved.
Well, thank you.
Because the next set of kids that are coming out, I want them to be able to read, write.
Thank you.
Yep.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Sergio Neal.
Good evening, Chairman Parent, Vice Chair Williams, members of the school board, and everyone here from the community. My name is Sergio Neal, and I'm here representing the Portsmouth chapter of Virginia Organizing. We have a few things we would like to ask of the school board tonight, but the very first thing I would like to point out, School Board Member Axon, thank you so much for meeting with members of our chapter on yesterday. We wanted to make sure that you were heard, that our appreciation for your time and effort and continuing to work through the issues as far as suspensions and student discipline. We greatly appreciate your time and effort. The next thing I would like to ask that was brought to our attention that we would like to ask of the school board and Dr. Bracy, we would like to meet with members of the school board if possible throughout the summer. We're trying to figure out what the process is for the revision of the student code of conduct. We've presented many ideas for the revision of the student code of conduct, which has more of a restorative justice feel to it. That way students that are having discipline issues have different avenues to resolve those problems and remain in school and get an education. The next thing that we would like to address would be the disciplinary committee, the ad hoc disciplinary committee. We understand that the first session went through, and I was greatly appreciative of Dr. Brace inviting me to sit on that committee. However, we would like to see that committee continue. The feedback that we got from the different staff members that were on that committee that we were able to bring back to our parents really helped to bridge the gap of the miscommunication and some of the discrepancies in the information that was given out. So we would like to see that committee continue. And another note, and this is more of a congratulatory note, we see that the school district has, as a whole, reduced suspensions versus the 2015-2016 school year. So we do extend our congratulations to you all for and to the staff of Portsmouth Public Schools for making that stride to keep those students in school and find alternative methods of discipline for them. We hope that in the future that whatever you guys are doing, including PBIS and other alternative disciplinary measures, they continue to work, and we are trying, and we are extending our efforts to you guys to get more parents involved in the disciplinary process. We understand that is a struggle because it's a struggle on our end as well as far as the advocacy organization is concerned. So we greatly hope that in the very near future that we will have this continued reduction in the suspensions, that way we can end as a whole the path from the school to prison pipeline. I would like to thank all of you guys for your attention, and I greatly appreciate all of the work that you've done as a school district. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mill. Thank you. Madam Clerk, are there any more speakers?
No. If there are any additional speakers, you may request permission to speak from the board at this time.
Yes.
There's one in the back. You can come to the front.
Good evening. I'm not really sure how I should address you, so good evening, Chairman, Parent,
That's fine.
Vice,
That's fine.
Dr. Bracey, and the whole board. My name is Dominica Serafine, and I'm a third grade teacher with Portsmouth Public Schools. I come before you today because I'm broken and I'm tired. I love these students more than anything. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and before she was born, these kids were my life, and these kids are still my life. And so I stand before you on behalf of teachers that are feeling beat down like me, and for the students whose voices have not been heard.
Take your time.
I know that you all have fought very hard to give the teacher raises.
Right.
But I know that for my teacher friends and I, we would just like to be treated decently and fairly and with respect. I can't tell you how many times I've driven to school crying because I don't want to go, because I feel helpless, because I can't help my kids as much as I want to. The morale at my school and talking with other teacher friends around the district, specifically in elementary schools, it's extremely low. And I had a conversation with a few teachers today where they don't want to be in teaching anymore. And our students in Portsmouth, they deserve us. They deserve to have good teachers. Just Virginia Beach, those aren't the only kids that deserve good teachers.
Right.
Chesapeake is not the only district that deserves good teachers. Portsmouth, our kids, our babies, they deserve good teachers. And many times I feel as though the good teachers are not getting the support that they need in order to continue to be the good teachers that those babies deserve. Everything that I have done, most of the decisions I've made have been solely with my students in mind. And sometimes I feel as it falls on deaf ears. I was not prepared to come tonight. I apologize for my appearance. My kids have SOL tested all day. I'm wearing half of my daughter's breakfast, and my dinner is still in the car.
You look great.
So I did not plan to be here, but I felt drawn to come. So thank you for your time. I'm always willing to help in any capacity that I'm needed, whether it's to give you the facts, to tell you things that maybe other teachers won't say. I would say them, as well as I just want to help our kids, our babies. That's all I have.
First of all, I want to say to you, thank you for your passion, because it is not easy as a teacher. There are a lot of challenges that teachers have today. And this board has heard your passion. We've heard your heart. We know that just listening to you, that you want what is best for our children. We have gone before City Council, and we have had the same passion that you've had tonight before this board, to provide the resources that teachers and everyone that work with our children need to do their job. And some of the concerns that you have raised this evening, Dr. Bracy has made notes, and so we will look into those things. And first of all, we want to thank you for being brave and courageous, and don't worry about your looks because you look fine, and we just thank you for your dedication to working with our students. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And, excuse me, what was your name again? Would you?
Dominica. Do you want me to spell it?
Okay.
Seraphine.
Can you
Okay.
spell Sarah?
All right, that's what we've got. All right. We wanted to make sure we had the, oh, this is Atkinson.
Thank you, Chairman. I just want to say thank you just for the hats that teachers wear: parent, lawyer, psychiatrist, doctor, nurse. It's so many hats. And as a Portsmouth Public School Board member, we definitely appreciate all the teachers in Portsmouth Public Schools. And just to key in on one thing you said, I know you said, and I heard it before from teachers, that it's not always about the money, but it's the morale that keeps teachers in the schools. So what can we do as a board to help build that morale? What is needed in the schools? Because we can give raises, but it has to be something other than that make you feel good about going to the schools and just loving staying in Portsmouth. Because I can say I speak with teachers in Virginia Beach, I speak with teachers in Chesapeake, and Portsmouth isn't the only school system that's going through issues or struggling or accreditation. Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, Newport News, Hampton has all those issues. And I know when I think about a job, morale over money, I've heard people leave six-figure jobs because they just weren't happy. So what is it that you need? And if there are any other teachers in here, because I do see some, we can take your ideas now and just utilize that, and maybe in a summer session or something like that, we can come up with a plan for the following year.
And Dr. Bracy will get with you and get your ideas so that they're so noted, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Could she not say it right now?
It's a personnel issue.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to get into some personnel issues. She can discuss that with
Can I
him.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Mr.
Ms. Seraphine and Chairman Parent, you had a teacher stand before you talking about this, mentioning some things. Board Member Atkinson also brought up some stuff as well. I know Ms. Duncan Hines is also a school teacher. I myself is a school teacher. I've been in education for 20 years. I've had opportunities to move up, but I've stayed in the classroom because I do believe it's passionate and so forth.
Right.
What she's saying is hitting right on the money with what's going on nationally. I just read where across the board nationally, teacher preparatory programs is down 35%. People are leaving the classroom. I also am a mentor for teachers, new teachers. Some of the statistics even show that from year 1 to 5, at the end of the 5th year, teachers leave.
Right.
Not 10%, not 20%, but a significant amount, majority will leave out. Part of the problems with morale and so forth, money goes so far. I would make the argument we could pay every single one of these teachers $125,000. They may stick around for a little bit, but they won't stick around long. Part of the problem is we're overworked. Part of it is the paperwork. Part of it is the stress that goes on each and every day. And those are things that do eventually, somewhere down the line, we're going to have to address as a board. I don't know all the answers, but I do know this. Maybe if we sat together with our teachers, put together a committee to figure out a lot of what's going on, in our classrooms, we might get some solutions and some answers.
Right. And Dr. Bracy does have a committee.
I understand, but I think this is something, and we see it in some of the decisions that we have to make with things that comes forward, that this is becoming more and more the prevalent opinion. And so it's something that we're going to have to move forward with.
Thank you.
Chairman Parent,
Yes.
I just want to clarify, and maybe we can ask Mr. Meekins, if a teacher comes to a school board meeting and say, I need more chalk in the classroom, that's a personnel issue?
No, that's not.
So just to clarify, when I asked for a specific need, I wasn't asking the teacher to speak in reference to an employee. I was asking for a need.
Understood.
So, yeah, I just wanted to clarify that that wasn't a personnel
So,
issue.
I didn't know the direction in which you were going, if we were going.
It was more so need, not personnel. So
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify,
Okay.
because I don't want to discourage any teacher from coming to the school board meeting if
Absolutely.
they're having an issue, because that to me was a negative.
Right.
A negative.
Right.
And she could leave thinking like, I can't tell all the school board members how I feel.
I think she pretty well did tell us how she felt, and we have so noted that. And the superintendent will get with her and make those, and listen to her and follow through with those recommendations. And then he will then get with us based on what he's learned. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, any more speakers?
No, sir.
Okay. The next item is public comment on board agenda items. Do we have any speakers for board agenda items?
No, sir.
Okay. The next item is the Human Resources and Operation. And Mr. Herb Robertson is here, and we have any questions?
Mr. Robertson. In Mr. Ziegler's absence tonight, Mr. Robinson is standing in the event that there are any questions from the operations report.
Okay. Board members, you have had a copy of the report. Do any of you have any questions of Mr. Robertson?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we move, thank you, Mr. Robertson. Now we move to budget and planning. Consideration to utilize the National IPA/TCPN Cooperative Purchasing Contract number R160701 with BSN Sports LLC.
Move for approval.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Mrs. Hines.
Not about the BSN, but did we skip, never mind.
Nope.
I missed a step. I'm good.
The report, you're talking about the human resource. If there were any questions about the report, we voted on the consideration of the employee transaction report,
Thank
which you had a copy.
I missed a step.
That's okay. All right, not a problem.
Thank you.
Now, and any more discussion? Hearing no more discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call vote.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
The next item is consideration to utilize the Virginia Information Technology Agency Cooperative Contract Number VA 150605 with Apple Incorporated.
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker?
Yes.
Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consideration of the April financial report. Board members, you've had a copy to review and study.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion. Madam Clerk, please roll call vote.
Ms. Allen?
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson?
Yes.
Mrs. Hines?
Yes.
Mr. Lamb?
Yes.
Reverend Patillo?
Yes.
Dr. Whitaker? Yes. Mrs. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Parent?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Chairman.
Yes. Ms.
This-
Hines.
This will be delivered to the sixth floor to City Council tomorrow, as per our usual every time we vote on this. Yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Just clarification.
We do it, we've been doing it the last 2 years in their mailboxes, so, and it's interesting that we have not had any comments from any city council members regarding our financial report, so we must be doing something right. All right. All right, the next item on the agenda is the consideration of the final school board operating budget. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, this has been one of the hardest jobs that we have had in a long time. I will say to you that this is not the budget that we wanted. You pretty well have read in the paper and you have seen the board and on television, so that the recommendations and the priorities that we have set for this school year have not been met. And but each year, the superintendent and the board, we assemble a budget that puts students first. Of course, this year is no exception. We sought to improve technology in our classrooms, provide instructional support for kindergarten students, and expand our career and technical education program. We also desperately wanted to give a hard-working teachers and staff a raise in order to keep up with the cost of living, as well as to attract and retain talented teachers. But we rely on city funding. We pleaded with city council to provide the money that our children, staff, and schools needed. Despite our advocacy, the city council voted against our request. Sadly, we fall short of the many funding goals this year to a lack of support from the city. However, we value our staff and we want to give a raise. But in order to provide the raise, we are forced to make painful cuts to 15 full-time staff positions, as well as adjust other positions. We'll also sever ties to the city's children's museum and shut down our planetarium program there. Also, we will have to close one preschool building and assign the children to other centers. These changes will place additional strain on the school division, but we will make every effort to ensure a smooth transition. However, this may not be the end of budget cuts. Without adequate city funding, we will have to continue to cut programs and reduce services each year. We fear this will hinder our progress, but we as a board have no other choice. Moving forward, we will continue to advocate for our school needs and to do our best to convince the city leaders to support public education. Thank you. Dr. Bracy?
Next.
Any comments you'd like to make?
Well, I think Chairman Parent, you pretty much summed it up. This has been a tough budget cycle, the back and forth with the city in terms of what we feel that's best for our students. You know, any of the decisions that we make are for the students. I feel that we provided a good case when we start talking about students and learning. And as Ms. Seraphine mentioned, it's not always about the money. It's also about environment.
Right.
One of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did was with this budget, was to try to make sure that we maintain with what other school divisions are doing around us. If you are keeping up, you're reading the paper, you realize that Portsmouth is the only city that is not supporting public education.
Right.
All other cities are providing some type of resources to their school divisions. In the meeting that I had a couple of days ago, when we talk about what's going on in your division, you know, they all talked about the additional finances that they were receiving from their city or board of supervisors. So it's unfortunate. I think it's sad. You know, it starts a bad precedent in terms of what we feel is important. Our chairman has mentioned in his speech to the city council that, you know, many of them ran on education, of what they would do with education. But instead of putting their mouth where their heart was at the time during the campaign, some of them chose not to. But we'll be at this situation again next year. And I hope we don't have to do any further cutting. We'll be in a position where we can't provide any more raises. You know, they have the funds, as Councilman Whitaker stated, and even Vice Mayor Cherry stated. Funds are available, but they chose not to provide those to us. So with that being said, it's a sad state for education. As superintendent, I want to put our students in a situation where they can be successful. I want the same thing for our staff, our administrators, as well as myself. Because at the end of the day, you know, no matter what we talk about, the life skills and the life learnings that we teach, we are going to be judged on what we do on SOLs, that assessment. That'll all get lost in all the other good things that we do. So I would hope that our city steps up next year. Well, and it's not too late, as they mentioned in their meeting. Right. But I haven't received any calls. So with that being said, you know, I'm pleased that we're able to provide the 2% this time. Maybe we haven't voted yet, but this isn't something that we can continue to do. We can't continue to go down this path, because the more cuts we make are going to cut instructional offerings, and that's not good for any of our staff and our students. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Bracey. At this time, the board will consider the final school board operating budget for 2017-18. What is the board's approval?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motions has been made and second. Any discussion? Doc, I want to call you Doc. I'm going to give you the Reverend Patillo.
Thank you, Chairman Parent.
Mr. Lamb.
As the chairman stated, this was a tough situation for the school division to be in. I never would have thought when joining the board we would have to cut funding from the school division in order to provide raises for our teachers and our staff. To me, that was extremely disappointing. And the most disappointing thing to me is that although we're able to provide the 2%, we still don't have funds to add to the instructional component we need to, that our teachers have been asking for. Additional IAs, grades K 2 through 6, parent support programs, all the things that we need to help our students achieve and to be better. So we have not been able to add anything instructionally to this budget. And that is extremely disappointing. So although we're able to offer the raise, I'm a frustrated and sad board member, and I'll be voting on this budget yes, because I do believe in a 2% raise, but I'm extremely disappointed that we don't have any instructional offerings within our budget to add. So I've spoken to about 6 different school staff meetings. I heard your concerns. We brought them forward. We introduced them to City Council, but we just could not get funding in order to do it, which is extremely disappointing.
Thank you. Mr. Lamb.
Thank you, Chairman Parent. First off, I do want to say thank you to Dr. Bracey and his team, Ms. Dortch and others that's worked diligently on this budget. you guys had to make some difficult and hard choices to make this work. And a part of that, of course, is the fact that cuts are being made, but our teachers are getting a much-needed 2% pay raise. I wish it was more. For those that's got to travel back and forth to other places, the cost of gas, tolls, and everything else is going to unfortunately eat into a lot of that. I would have loved to have been able to get more instructional resources in the classroom, but I'm glad to see, though, that there were the instructional assistance that was built into the budget hasn't been cut as well. And so for many probably on this DS, you will probably be surprised. But because of these things, I will be voting accordingly. Thank you.
Dr. Whitaker.
Good evening. Dr. Bracy and Mr. Parent, you all have fought the good fight. I will say that. And many of the board members have been out in the community also fighting the good fight for our school system. I'm saddened tonight because City Council has essentially decided to throw education under the bus. That's what's happening here tonight. They have decided to take one of the most vulnerable populations that we have, our children, and sacrifice their well-being. And the question I ask is why? Why? The money is there. They have the vacant positions to provide the funds that we need. And as citizens, we need to really ask ourselves what is going on in this city. That you have the funds to provide to our schools, but you refuse to do it. This is a sad day for me. On the one hand, I want to support our superintendent so that he has an operating budget. But based on my conscience, it's very difficult for me to vote yes for a budget that doesn't provide what we need. In the end, though, we need a budget to operate on. But for the record, this is not the budget that we need in the city of Portsmouth.
Right.
We're sacrificing the well-being of our children for no good reason at all. And I just want to say that the next time that we have an election in this city, people really need to get out and vote. And vote for those who are going to support education, not just those who say they will support, but those who are willing to fight the good fight for our children. Thank you.
Thank you. Since there's no more discussion,
Thank you, Chairman Parent.
Ms. Atkinson.
Before we vote on the budget, I was wondering, I know we were speaking on a section before we send it to the city, an amendment that we had to the budget. The 400,000. So I think the board would have to vote to amend that before we send that to the city. It's already
in the budget.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clear that up.
It's already in the budget.
In the budget for CTE?
Yeah. We're just,
I mean, it goes, it's.
The money's there, we decide.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be in the right category when we vote on it,
Right.
that's all.
And that'll
Okay.
be adjusted.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Right. Okay, hearing no more discussion. Madam Clerk.
Ms. Allen,
Yes.
Ms. Atkinson,
Yes.
Mrs. Hines,
Yes.
Mr. Lamb,
Yes.
Reverend Patillo, Dr. Whitaker, Mrs. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Parent.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
All right, Dr. Bracy, your monthly report.
Thank you, Chairman Parent, and thank you, board members, for approving the budget that I don't think any of us really are pleased with. And Mr. Lamb, thank you for reminding me that, I get in trouble from time to time, when I'm somewhere and I forget to thank my wife for something that she's done. So when you said thanking the finance team, I couldn't leave here tonight without thanking Ms. Dortch, Mr. Duran, Sharice, and help me out.
Parks.
Ms. Parks, yes, Larissa. Now, I was trying to think of the first name. Yeah, Ms. Parks, thank you so much for the time that you all have put together. It seems like we've been working on this budget starting in fall. So I'm sure we're going to have a short turnaround period here as well. So thank you all for what you've done. And I think all of us collaborating and speaking and talking, no one person has it all. No one person knows it all. It takes the whole team to put things together to come back and share with you all. And you all are the ones at the forefront. Thank the CNI team, the IT team, operations, HR, for your input as well. Because we had a different process this year where everybody was a willing participant, and that's how we were able to get the data that we needed to put this budget together. So thank you. I want to publicly thank you all. I've thanked you before, so I want to make sure I publicly did that as well. So with that being said, talking about money, you see my report. What I wanted to do was to talk about some additional funds that we got by way of a grant, our most recent grant. And Dr. Williams, our grant writer, is here, and I'd ask her to come at this time to share that information with the board about our recent grant that we were awarded. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am excited about sharing with you briefly about U.S. Department of Education federally funded grant that we just received last night. It is the Upward Bound program, and we were awarded for 5 years for $257,000 for 5 years for a total of a little over $1.2 million, and we are really excited about that.
Yeah.
And briefly, in the next couple of months, you'll hear more about the Upward Bound program, but to share with you, it is a pre-college program for our high school students, and it would prepare them for everything you can think of as it relates to getting them into college. And there's money in the budget for funding for tutors, if they need the extra support to kind of maybe raise their GPAs to be more competitive for admissions to post-secondary ed, as well as college visits, cultural enrichment opportunities for them to travel and visit, opportunities they may not get from the Portsmouth community, as well as if the students successfully participate in the program, they also get paid a stipend check 3 times a year. So all the services are free, and they get paid to participate in the program. So we are super excited. We'll be hiring new staff that are all funded from the program, but we just wanted to share that with you. We are excited. Also, one last thing is that the slate came out last night for the institutions that were funded, and in Virginia on this first slate, 17 institutions were funded, and we were the only K-12 institution. All the others were colleges and universities, so we're excited about that. Are there any questions that I can answer for you at this time about the program?
No, just hallelujah.
That's great. Thank you for your hard work. Yep,
Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Williams.
Anything else? Okay, the last item, next to the last item, board members, your comments and your concerns. Oh, Ms. Evans.
Good evening. During this portion of the meeting, I always like to bring up something that's happening around our city that involves our school system. Tuesday night, I do see some people here that were at the Edibles for Education event at the Women's Club that benefits the Portsmouth Schools Foundation, which provides scholarships for our students. Coming up on Thursday, June 1st, the Portsmouth Schools Foundation, along with the LEFCO Alumni Association, will be having their Sale Awards ceremony. They will also be honoring our Innovator Grant recipients, donors to the scholarship funds that are given through Portsmouth Schools Foundation. Our board member, Cardell Patillo, gives a scholarship every year, so thank you on behalf of the Schools Foundation and the LEFCO Alumni Association for your generous donation of scholarship that you provide in honor of your grandmother. And we will also be recognizing 2 of our staff members in Portsmouth Public Schools with $1,000 gift in honor of their recognition of being selected as a SAIL Award winner. So that event is on Thursday, June 1st. It's at the Children's Museum. It's at 6 o'clock. For more information, contact Sabrina Evans at the Portsmouth Schools Foundation or the Loveco Alumni Association at gmail.com. I am an alumnus of Loveco. I am a board member of the Portsmouth Schools Foundation. There is money there. We want to get our kids educated. College is expensive. Any opportunity where we can provide funds for them is a great opportunity. So thank you to everybody that donates. And once again, June 1st, it's a wonderful opportunity to celebrate Portsmouth Public Schools.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Atkinson?
I just want to give a shout out to Sharice. Sharice, thank you for all you do. Because of you, the Portsmouth social media page is, I want to say, the most popping out of any school system. When I go places, everybody talk about our social media page and say, how come our city school board is not posting as much as Portsmouth? So that's all because of you. So thank you for the good news and for your attention to the bad news. But it's good when I'm in other cities and our Facebook and social media pages is the talk of where I'm at. So thank you.
And one last comment. Dr. Betal, why don't you come up and let the board know about we need some volunteers and maybe some people in the audience, and then those who are watching this on television, you might be able to get some more volunteers.
Absolutely. Thank you, Chairman Parent.
You're welcome.
I just want to invite all of you also on Thursday, June 1st, to our second annual Little Feet Special Olympics event. We will be at City Park starting at 9:45 with just our preschool special needs students and a buddy. But we do need volunteers. So if there's anyone in the community, in the audience, or any of the school board members that would like to stop by, we just ask that you let my office know, because we do register you as a volunteer with Special Olympics, and there are T-shirts and things like that that our volunteers get. So it is our second attempt at this. Next year we hope to expand and get more of our students in the maybe K to 3, but this year we're doing preschool again.
Good.
So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes,
I'm
you have a
sorry,
question.
raising my hand like I'm in class.
That's
Does it
okay.
do
Yes,
that?
Ms. Hines.
For the volunteers for Little Feet, does it have to be an adult, or can it be some of our high school students that are looking for community outreach or service as well, that we could lean on them to help out as well?
Absolutely. Our high school students have been invited.
Okay.
And two of the high schools actually responded today.
Good.
And especially our students at Woodrow Wilson who are involved in the early childhood CTE program. They were there last year and they have requested to come again, and they're on board now.
Okay.
Thank you.
And maybe if we send it to our middle schools and get some of these rising 8th graders who are so civic-minded to be a part of this as well?
I didn't do that yet, but I can, and especially the Honor Society students, because they have to do community service hours.
Okay.
So I will reach out to the middle schools in the morning.
I'm otherwise assigned for my full-time job on that day,
I
otherwise I
understand.
would be there. But it sounds great, and I can't wait for my child to be old enough to help out with yours.
Absolutely.
He's in
Thank
kindergarten
you.
right now, so we'll give him a few years.
I understand.
Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just one.
Ms. Williams?
Just a reminder that our Super Bowl event graduation is June 6th, 7th, and 8th at Intellos.
Right.
At 7 p.m.
That's right. I was going to announce that, but
No,
good job. All right, last item is adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
All right.
Number one, I just wanted to inquire if there was a way that we could get Portsmouth Schools Foundation to come and do a presentation to the board as far as what they do. We talk about them. They've been a part of our meetings seemingly all year. But I think it would be nice to be able to showcase them, give them an opportunity to show us and to show the public who may not understand everything that they do behind the scenes for our teachers and for our school division, maybe to get them to come in and to do a presentation to us at some point as far as what it is that they do and how else we can help them.
We can take care of it.
And the other, I have one other piece I would like for the chairman to consider, considering that this budget cycle was very contentious, would be the word I would use for it.
That's a good word.
I would like for you to consider, and I don't need immediate
Right.
an answer, but maybe if we change city council liaisons to create a different dynamic between the boards, to get us working closer to a same page. And of course, that's your ultimate decision, but in looking back and seeing what we can do differently as a board as far as working together and creating different dynamics, that would be one of the things that I would ask that you consider as we move forward, because like Dr. Bracy said, we will start with the 18 budget basically in September.
Right.
So that is my request.
Yep. Reverend Patel?
And I just want to state to that also that if we were to create new liaisons, that will strictly be the board's decision, but I don't want it to be used as an excuse as to why we didn't get funding this year.
I'm not using.
No, I'm just saying that publicly, that
Right.
we could have had any liaison on this board.
Right.
They chose not to fund this school division.
Correct.
And I don't want that to be forgotten by anybody sitting in this audience or on this board or watching on television. They had the choice to fund this school division, and they chose not to.
Yes.
Ms. Williams and Dr.
And I would like to go on record as remaining as one of the liaisons. So perhaps I could have better luck with the next group.
Well, it's been that the chair and the vice chair be the liaison, but the chair is always open. But I agree that,
It doesn't matter.
we did everything we possibly could and said, met, and I'm very grateful for Dr. Mark Whitaker, because he was the advocate for our budget. And anyway, we did all we could do. And Dr. Whitaker did all he could do on their side, but they just didn't listen to him.
They chose not.
They chose not to listen. Okay? Any more discussion? Do I have a motion for adjournment?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. We adjourn. All in favor, say amen. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. That's